But circling back to one of our top stories this hour, the Monetary Authority of Singapore has joined forces with the Financial Services Information Sharing and Analysis Center, or FSISAC, to combat cybercrime and ramp up cyber information sharing among 49 financial institutions in 9 countries. Now, this comes as MAS unveiled a slew of new fintech initiatives to further the country's Smart Nation agenda. Now, the announcement was made at the Singapore Fintech Festival, where Teresa Tang is standing by. So, Teresa, walk us through some of the key initiatives announced today.
Yeah, Julie, thanks. It's been a busy day here at the Singapore Fintech Fest. Things kicked off this morning with an address by Ravi Menon, the Managing Director of the Monetary Authority of Singapore, and he made a few key announcements. One of them was around blockchain technology, of course, the technology underpinning Bitcoin. Now, last year, Project Ubin used blockchain technology to transfer funds, interbank transfers, and it didn't even involve the Monetary Authority of Singapore. And they say that was successful. Phase 2 recently completed, also very successful, and they'll be releasing prototypes to the fintech industry so that it can be collectively improved upon. To this end, the MAS is going to be working with the Bank of Canada to simulate wholesale payments as well. Now, on the regulatory front, Mr. Menon noted that fintech developments are really forcing regulators to change the way that they regulate, and there needs to be an unbundling of regulations because we're seeing an unbundling of financial services. And to that end, a new payment services bill is going to be published for consultations next week. And Mr. Menon said that regulations should be tailored to specific financial activities, specific financial services, rather than entities. And one more point on regulation is that, you know, in the financial industry, regulation is really a headache for some. In particular, when regulators ask for the same set of data more than once from a financial institution. And MAS says they are hoping to change that. They're aiming to achieve zero duplication in data requests and really move away from the manual regulation reporting system. Now, to that end, we are seeing some response, one in particular from KPMG in Singapore. They say they really welcome this move being made by the MAS to head towards a zero duplication in data requests. And they say this really shows that Singapore is taking a step towards a fully digital regulatory reporting system. For more reaction on today's announcements, I'm joined by Robin Lowe, and he is Allianz's Chief Digital Officer for Asia Pacific. Thank you for joining me, sir. So from the slew of announcements that Mr. Menon made today, what stands out for you?
I think the first and foremost is the unbundling of financial services, right? It's a great development for incumbents such as Allianz, because I think it poses both opportunities as well as challenges. Opportunities, because as you know, outside of Singapore, right, it's all about financial inclusion. You have highly huge swath of masses that are underbanked, underinsured. As you start unbundling them, right, you're starting to open up financial services to a huge group of customers that never was able to access them. It's a challenging opportunity for us as well, because it challenges us on how can we build products that are easily unbundled so that customers can select themselves. Unfortunately, you know, Allianz has been on the journey of creating modular products for several years now, and I think we're up to the challenge.
Let's talk about that blockchain technology. We're seeing collaboration between Singapore and Canada. This technology moving forward, what do you think it means for organizations like Allianz? What's the impact there?
So I think, you know, there are 3 key things that are key to blockchain's success, right? One is on standards, second is storage, third is security. I think it's a fantastic idea for MAS to take the lead to try to create a standard, not just in Singapore but across the region. And for Allianz, you know, as the audience might be aware, you know, we're part of the B3I, a blockchain for insurance industry in Europe, and we're trying to bring the technology here also to create the standard as well as the environment to create the use cases for different sectors, including, you know, authorizations of customers to make the customer experience better, as well as securitizing some of the risk transfers between insurance company and the reinsurance space.
Another key point was made around cross-border payment systems, and last night the education minister here in Singapore also said, you know, that you can use the Singapore Nets card in India, in China as well. What do you think this indicates in terms of going borderless when it comes to payment systems around the world?
So, you know, we're starting to see emerging, you know, payment trends across different parts of the world, but I think this specific initiative by MAS is really a good way to boost not just the fintech industry, but also digital economy. Because, you know, when you look at fintech, right, everything starts with payments. It's about fund flow, it's about information flow, right? Whether I'm offering a protection service, whether I'm offering loans, we need this very seamless fund flow that's, you know, in a very secure fashion, right? And one of the key challenges has always been cross-border, because people are a lot more mobile now, right? And I think with this new initiative, it allows other insurance, other banks, right, to actually ride on this payment structure to create much more opportunities in terms of transaction as well as product creation.
Thank you so much. I know you've been watching and listening to these announcements very closely with us. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I was speaking to Robin Low, Allianz's Chief Digital Officer here in the Asia Pacific. And Julie, in the next hour, I'm going to have with me Mr. Sopnendu Mohanty. He's the Chief Fintech Officer with the Monetary Authority of Singapore. And I'll be posing some questions to him as well around Mr. Menon's announcements today. Julie.
All right, Teresa, thank you very much. That was Teresa Tang reporting to us live from Singapore Expo.